Hoodie season in full effect.
Oh, Jesus. You know what? Speaking of that, let's have a little sidebar on this hood situation.
Hoodie season, full effect. Sidebar. What, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another gangster episode of Black Law and Legalized, where we will drop some knowledge on you and then take your wallet at the same time.
Because it's hard out here for a pimp.
You're man. It's crunchy black man. Crunchy black. That's my demo in the. Tell me that fell out your pants, man. Tell me. My name is Dan. You keep up with me on Twitter and IG at I am Dan on Drugs. Keep up with the show, all social media platforms at Black Law Podcast.
Hi, and I'm just Dan, and you can follow me on Twitter at I Tell Legal Lies. That hoodie sidebar thing. So somebody asked me a question about a week ago. You know, your little hoodie situation reminded me. And they said they did not understand why it's like 1,000 degrees outside and these little kids walking around with hoodies on. And what I said was, this harkens back to Trayvon Martin. And ever since he was killed, you've seen more and more children of his age do that. And am I right or am I wrong? I mean, because I don't really understand the hoodie phenomenon either, but that's basically what my mind tells me the reason why
son.
they doing this.
All right. So
there's hoodie culture.
Hoodie season.
For a reason other than Trayvon Martin, because it's 5,000 degrees and these children have these. Why?
You old. Your age starting to show. So hoodie season. It is a season that is celebrated in the black community. And much like Kwanzaa, it is celebrated in the black community. Hoodie season is, okay, let me break it down in a way you might understand. You remember Letterman jackets, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how when the chick was dating the athlete and he would give her the Letterman jacket to wear, right?
To basically say, you're my property and here's the representation thereof. Mm-hmm.
That is the modern day hoodie, is that, the Letterman jacket. So women go around collecting hoodies from men, and men have no intentions, even though they say they want them back, of getting them back because they know the hoodies is gone, because women love hoodies.
All right, so at the end of the day, does not answer my question.
At the end of the day, women love hoodies. Men are going to wear hoodies. And then they're going to have their hoodies.
What women love hoodies?
Women probably 15 years younger than you women.
Because women that are 15 years younger than me, if they're liking hoodies, something wrong with them.
Nah, that's just what it is.
No, because like I said, I like my explanation better. I'm going to stick to that next time somebody asks me.
No. Because that has nothing to do with Trayvon Martin.
Tell me why you would walk around in 500-degree heat with a hoodie on. Is it hoodie season though? No, yes, because it's summertime.
No.
Spring, summer,
hoodie season does not.
Summer and fall.
Hoodie season does not start until the last Friday in September.
Nah, son. Winter, spring, summer, fall. These kids wearing these hoodies.
I can't speak for them. The hoodie season that the black community celebrates starts the last Friday of every September.
Now you're trying to gaslight me because
this is real shit.
No such animal.
Man, Google it. This is real shit.
There's no such.
The last Friday, ladies and gentlemen, please help my co-host out here. The last Friday in September is when the black community celebrates what we have coined hoodie season.
Ain't no way.
And it is basically an exchange of hooded sweatshirts from men to women. Women love hoodies. Men wear hoodies. And then if you a little somebody special, you get to rock my hoodie. And that is the equivalent of wearing my Letterman jacket. Now, if you're wearing a hoodie in the summertime, 90 degrees out, most likely you're a school shooter. We don't celebrate that in the black community.
Okay, I'm going to say this. So, hoodie season Urban Dictionary says the time when girls want hoodies from boys,
Yes.
especially boys they're in love with, whether the
Yes.
boy knows it or not.
Yes.
Hoodie season, and I'm trying to wear yours. But it does not say anything about um the first or
Last
the
Friday in
last Friday in
September.
September. That does not. It says, wait, hold up. There's another one.
General consensus.
The time of the year, usually in the fall, where it's cold enough to wear a hood, but not cold enough to warrant wearing
A
anything
coat.
heavy.
Uh-huh.
Hoodie season lasts longer for some people than others. It can even last through the whole winter.
Yeah.
Bruh, I
And
don't
then what
see-
you do, let me tell you, what you do with hoodie season. So I haven't participated in hoodie season in quite a long time just because of my current situation. But during hoodie season, whatever your favorite cologne is, you spray that shit all
On
over
your
your
hoodie?
hoodie
Dude,
because
is this
she
something that
is
you did? Is this something that you did?
I'm sure I've done it at one point, but she is going to sleep in that hoodie. That's what they do. They take it, they rock it outside, or they'll sleep in it. And if it smells like you, it reminds them of you. Therefore, the likeliness of you getting some pussy just off the strength of that hoodie is exponential,
No, okay. I'm once again.
unequivocally.
Look, let me tell you something, Mike Tyson. I am sticking to my explanation. I like mine better. Okay.
Nah, it's
Moving
just
on.
totally
No,
wrong.
no,
Totally wrong.
no.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, will somebody reach out and really explain the ins and outs of
Man,
hoodie
look,
season two?
put it
And
on. Look, put it in my Twitter feed. Like, please. I
hold on.
honestly want to know. Like,
Matter of fact,
somebody send me something showing me that what this food is talking about.
okay, ladies and gentlemen, I picked up my phone here to record this quick bit for Twitter. My co-host Ann does not understand hoodie season, and I told her that it starts the last Friday in September, and it is when the male species exchanges their hoodies for the love of the female species. And if you really want to get her into you, you spray that hoodie with your favorite cologne. So when she sleeps in it, that she is thinking of you, and the likeliness of you actually attaching yourself to her box is very
did you just say
exponentially higher
yourself
than
to her box?
Yes, attach yourself to her box, because once she's got your hoodie on, she yours until she takes it off. That's how hoodie season works. But somebody reach out and explain to my co-host,
Please, and
how
thank you.
hoodie season works. Today, ladies and gentlemen, with that aside, what we're going to talk about is pro se.
Yeah.
And it's something that we have mentioned a lot on the show. We've even used different examples, and pro se is
the DIY of the law.
exactly. It's when you do it yourself. So there's a lot of things out here that we do or that we need done that we think we need lawyers for. And of course, it's never a bad idea to have an attorney, but at the
Amen,
same
brother.
time, sometimes money is funny and you can't really afford. And that too I wanted to bring up. When you talk about suing, filing lawsuits, or doing this or doing that, anything in the legal field, the first thing a lot of our
money.
our culture is, man, I ain't got the money for that shit, or it ain't even worth it.
Yeah, but we tried to dissuade. Like we actually tried to get people to think outside of that, and we've done shows where we've talked about filing things in forma pauperis. And that is basically telling the court, I do not have the funds to pay for these court costs right now, but please make an exception, forbear these costs until a later date. Every court in the land has to let you do that. They have to let you file a motion to do that. Not saying they have to accept it, but they have to give you a shot at doing it like that. And most pro se litigants, they actually also rely on and take advantage of that whole informal pauperous. Because if you can't afford to pay a lawyer, you damn sure can't afford to pay the cost
Legal
associated
fees, yeah.
with filing the paperwork. So those things kind of go hand in hand.
So let's talk about some things here. Things that let's not say we recommend that they be done
I'm
per
not
se.
trust me, none of this is a recommendation. None of this is actually going to cause you and I to have any sort of
An
legal
attorney-client privilege relationship.
attorney-client relationship. Anything that I tell you, you need to go and look for yourself, and you need to consult somebody. Consultation most of the time is free.
I do it for
You
$2.
know, you can consult with someone because everybody's situation is different. Also, keep in mind that the things that I say pertaining to the law, for the most part, through the lens of the eye of a Louisiana lawyer. You know, a lot of the things that I say, it actually pertains to the law in effect in the state of Louisiana, unless I'm talking about the federal government. So you look for that parallel law in your own state. But going back to pro se.
Pro se. So let me start with, this is something that I'm not sure you'll agree with, but
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Let's start with custody.
Boy, if you want to tell these people to actually go into a custody dispute pro se, I am going to slap you.
No, not a dispute, but filing for custody of the child.
Okay.
So that's not, we're not necessarily going back and forth yet, but I want to file for custody.
So the initial filing.
Yes.
All right. So
you don't need it'd be good to have one, but you don't necessarily need an attorney.
Okay, so that statement is about
92%.
85% true.
92-ish.
About 85% true. And the reason why I say that is because there's been this not a shift, but self-help has become a very big thing in court.
They have a desk for that shit.
Exactly. And that's what I was about to say. In most courts, what you are going to see, they have attorneys or law students who man desks for it's a self-help desk. Like, you can go to them and you can get some guidance from them to do things on your own. That is in addition to things like poverty law centers and low-cost law clinics and things of that nature. But so having said that, like I said, there's been this big surge of courts trying to help people, make the law accessible. There's been this, like I said, this big push, this big surge.
And the reason is to I just had the word, not necessarily streamlined, but courts are overworked. Resources.
They're inundated with,
right.
We live in a very litigious society. And when I say we live in a very litigious society, this is the reason why in the state of Louisiana, the car insurance rates are as high as they are.
Speaking of which,
wait,
sidebar. I go to pay I've been having a rough time, y'all. I ain't even gonna lie. I can sit here, smile, laugh, and joke, but behind the scenes, I've been having a rough time. So, step one, we're gonna get the car insurance, and it's gonna be in a roundabout way. Are they really?
Yeah, let's sidebar on that shit. You've been.
Are they really?
Wait, have you been chewing on gummies?
Not yet. I thought about it the other day. I was gonna take it the other day. My eyes red for real?
They kind of red. Go look. Like the right one more than the left.
I came from the gym. I didn't have enough time to take a shower before setting all this up out of my hurricane event. You see, I still got my gym shorts on. I'm just covering it up with the hoodie because it's hoodie season. But go to the dentist, right? I was having tooth pain. We're gonna get the car insurance.
You know what?
I was having tooth
talk to you
pain,
right
man.
now.
So I go to the dentist and I don't have dental insurance, right? But I got this like dental hookup thing, right? So
You got
it's
arts and
already in the
crafts.
computer. It's in the computer. So they punch my name in, they code it, and it comes up with the price, a discounted price for me because I'm special. Well, they got a new receptionist that does all the billing. So she was like, Mr. Dan, do you have your insurance card? Like, I don't have insurance, but I do got this fly dental plan thing that I be paying for. That'll be fine. Just bring it in next time. We're not going to charge you. We'll just bill you. All right. So I go get my dental documentation. I show up for my cleaning.
Wait, your dental document.
My documentation. I show up for my cleaning. Get the worst cleaning of my life. The chick, man, you know how they got the suction thing? They go, she wasn't even doing it. She just had it resting in my mouth. And she was like, close your mouth, spit into it. Close your mouth, spit into it. Like shit is collecting in my throat. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm like, yo, what the fuck, man? So anyway, yeah, because when you got your head back in the dental chair, like everything just kind of gravity takes it back. So anyway, worst cleaning ever. Lady comes back out and she's like, Mr. Dan, do you have any insurance? Like, yo, I told you last time, I ain't got no insurance. I have a dental plan, a discounted dental plan where I get discounts for stuff. Do you have your paperwork? Yes, I do here. So then I go and I stand at the receptionist area trying to pay, and she's coding the shit, and she was like, well, it's coming up as $136 for your cleaning, but I think with this dental plan, you get like a free cleaning, and it should be $36 for the x-rays or something. So I'm just not sure how to do. This went on for 20 minutes. I'm just standing there with my card in my hand. So I say to her, I say, let me just pay the greater of the two prices. I'm fine with that. Well, no, I don't want you to have to pay an extra $100 if you don't have to. Like, yo, chick, lady, listen. I've been standing here 20 minutes. Just let me pay. Here's my card. No, I don't want to do it. Let me go grab the dentist. So she goes, grabs the dentist. Dentist comes up annoyed. He's like, yo, what, man? What? Why am I involved in the billing? This paper says this, and that. So I'm like, yo, seriously, can I pay? I already owe y'all for a previous visit. And well, how about this? To be continued. No, it's not to be continued. I'm trying to pay you money. So I'm like, yo, just don't even use the dental plan. Tell me how much I owe you. Well, I wouldn't want to do that to you. So I'm like, yo, motherfuckers will not take my money. Then my Apple Music. I get this is the day after all this shit goes down. Apple Music. I can't pay them. I'm trying to pay Apple Music because I have a student subscription and I pay $4.99 a month.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to and they locked my whole account out. I couldn't even log in. And I had to re-verify that I was a student, which of course we all know I'm not, but I'm using somebody else's student eligibility.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I had to jump through all kinds of, I'm like, I'm just trying to pay y'all, man. I'm just trying to pay y'all. Take the $4.99. Well,
nobody wants to.
Mr. Dan, you need to prove that you're a student to pay us, whatever. So, all right, get the car insurance. I'm like, oh shit, it's the first. I got to pay Geico. Log into my Geico app. It's like your previous policy has been paid in full. Your balance is 000. I'm like, it's funny that they haven't sent out my new policy yet. Next day, I go log into Geico 0000. So I'm like, oh, what the fuck is going on? How am I supposed to pay y'all and y'all not giving me a thing to pay? So I look in the corner. It's like, we have given you a 15% Geico something discount.
Mm-hmm.
And the balance for the month of October is zero.
Mm-hmm.
I look ahead into November. My November bill is $250.
Oh, so
My
they
car,
added.
yeah, my
So
car
they
insurance is
added.
$122 a month.
So they added it.
So I'm basically getting a free month by paying 2 months in November.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, y'all just leave me the fuck. And that's been my attitude for the past over a week. I'm on vacation from work because I can't take being around silly motherfuckers right now. And we got a silly motherfucker at work. So I'm distancing myself and nobody wants any money. I'm just handing the shit out. Here, take money. No, we want you to jump through hoops to give us money. Fuck
Well,
y'all.
you know what? Everybody has procedures. Order. Now you sound like Donald Trump.
No.
Just F the way things should be.
No.
Let me do it the way that I want to do
No,
it.
it's do it the way things are supposed to be done. Every month for the past 17 years, I've been paying Geico every month. Bitch, stop fucking with my shit. I don't want your discount. Just let me pay. The dentist. I've been going to this dentist since 2010. Never had a problem. Just let me fucking pay you. Don't nobody want to take money.
Man, so wait. So
back to the child
to child custody. You can file the initial paperwork. And as I was saying, most courts have made it very pro se friendly. They are very DIY friendly. We talked about the self-help desk. There are forms, standard forms now that most courts have. You can go online to their website and download like petitions and motions for certain things. So that you can, they've done it for lawyers, but they've mostly done it for the general public. Excuse me, for them, as guides. So as far as custody goes, that initial, you probably, depending on the parish or the county that you live in, you could probably go on their website. And some counties, some parishes, they actually have a specific section on their website. You can click on self-help or pro se. They have it there for you so that you can look through and see what you need to do. It'll kind of guide you to do this by yourself.
Restraining orders. Pro se.
No, I would not suggest, because they are kind of tricky. Like the court appearances for those are kind of tricky, and actually even getting to the point where you can go and file a temporary restraining order or some
emergency,
sort of order
even an emergency
definitely. I would not, like, that is not something that I would do pro se, because that could be a matter of life or death.
I know people who have filed protective orders and they had not used an attorney. They actually went through the police department.
Yeah, you can.
So what would the difference be? Like, what can a lawyer or an attorney, whatever you assholes like to be called, do any different than what the police department
Okay,
did?
so not in my head, but in my experience, what I've seen is there are sometimes there are delays, and through no fault of course the person who's seeking this protective order, there can be some delays. If you have a lawyer that knows who to talk to, where to go, you can get things done more smoothly. That is what, and in situations like this where time counts, time matters, these things are time sensitive, and as I said, can be matters of life or death. You want this thing to go as smoothly as possible, and you want everything. But most of the time, if you go to something else, you go to the police station and you say you want to file restraining orders. I've had people that the police have turned around. After they've talked to the cops about what's going on, they've turned them around, as opposed to having a lawyer who, I don't care what you say, we're doing X, Y, and Z, and actually getting it done. right?
So
So
how much would like something like that cost in Louisiana, the average citizen? I know we got sliding scales and different kind of ask for a special discount type of situations. But how much if I wanted to file a restraining order against Becky and I did want to employ the help of an attorney, what would I be looking at
what would
spending?
they charge you?
Yeah,
Because I
just
was about to say, as far as court costs goes, if it's a
well, you got to
domestic,
pay for that shit too.
no,
Oh,
that's what I was about to say. As far as domestic violence situation goes, now if your most attorneys, the average, um, it's like something like $3.75 an hour, and it may take like an hour of your time, but in a lot of cases, if it's a domestic violence situation, I know a lot of attorneys will do that pro bono
okay.
for people who are in situations that involve domestic violence.
So we got pro se and pro bono.
Pro bono,
Some
pro bono means free.
other things. We already, as we discussed in a previous episode, your last will and testament. It's not a good idea to do that without an attorney. Even though we said you can do the oratorium one.
The orator.
Yeah, oratorium. That's when.
Holographic or
Yeah,
holographic.
yeah. That's when you can
The
write it down
oratorium.
yourself.
You can, but even in that situation, you want to make sure that it is of form, meaning different states have most states actually acknowledge and they recognize handwritten wills, but they have to be in a certain form. There are certain things that have to be said in it. There's a certain way that it has to be signed. There are certain, it has to take a certain form, even though you're writing it yourself. Like in the state of Louisiana, has to be signed on every page. That has to be dated. There's a
Witness.
there's an attestation that you have to. There's certain things, like I said, they take certain forms. So know what your state requires. So holographic or holographic wills, you can do yourself. Just as I said, it has to be in a certain form for it to be recognized by your state.
My favorite. Divorce.
That is actually one of the things that you see people doing pro se most of the time.
I've
Divorces.
seen that. Well,
It is the vast majority of pro se litigants are divorcees.
I've seen. Well, what I saw was a divorce start as a pro se situation.
And then
It got ugly, and after it got ugly, lawyers was involved.
right. So
and
if
never
you,
admit to a no fault divorce. Never.
what you talking about? Never
No.
admit.
No. Well, never agree on a no fault. I don't care.
There's no such animal as never agree to, because strictly state Louisiana,
I know we don't have
State-
no fault.
we do.
Do we? Okay.
Yes,
I know
in
California
the state of
does.
Louisiana, there is no fault. You don't have to agree. You just have to let the time pass. Like if you don't have, we've discussed this before, if you have children who are under the age of majority, then you have to wait a year in order to be divorced, to get divorced. If you don't have children, it's 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do it one of two ways. You can file and then be living separate and apart for the requisite amount of time, or you can live separate and apart and then file. But like, there are things that the other party can do to hold it up, but you can't just walk in the court and say, we ain't getting divorced. That's it. Like if somebody wants to be divorced, you don't even have to cooperate. It's best if you
Right.
in situations you can cooperate. Like in the state of Louisiana, if the other party cooperates, you can have your petition for divorce be filed, and within 3 days you can be divorced officially. If the other person is willing, to cooperate. So divorce, like I said, definitely, and there's so much out there by way of not Google, but by way of the court's websites. You can almost any court in the land, you can go on their website and you will see forms for divorces.
So, with again, keeping it with pro se, how intelligent, just generally, how intelligent do you have to be? Even utilizing, say, the self help desk, how intelligent do you have to be to get these things correctly done? And what are we looking at as far as margins of error?
Okay, so you have to know how to read, and you have to understand.
I'm out.
You have to know how to read and understand things clearly, because even with self-help, they're going to give you a bunch of papers, and they're going to tell you first you do this, then you do this, then you do that. And I'm strictly in Jefferson Parish and Orleans Parish, they both have self-help desks, right? And they both have a whole packet for pro se divorce litigants. You can print it out from their website, and they will literally tell you, you do this first, then you do this, then you get this notarized and this one,
and then you lose half your shit.
And then you do this, and like they will walk you through step by step. So you have to be able to follow directions, because they will tell you, do this first, do this second, do this third, get this done.
So without an attorney, can you handle, let's say, dividing assets and things of that nature?
Okay, so as with the question you asked about custody, initial paperwork you can do pro se. It's simple. If you don't have a lot of marital assets, best thing that you can do is do it yourself, because you save yourself some money. Let's branch off into people who have marital assets. And this is where that gets sticky. State of Louisiana, when you get married, anything you buy after you're married is considered marital property. We call it community property.
I call it bullshit.
Right? So money that you earn from your job is community property. Money from like you buy rental property and you have rents, that is community property. So if you are in a situation where you and your spouse have a lot of community property, if you're working on a job, and to go back to what's considered community property, you're working on a job,
half your paycheck,
and you have a 401k,
half of that shit too.
Exactly right. If you started that job after you got married, and you put money into that 401k or some other kind of deferred compensation plan, in Louisiana, the law provides a calculation. There's a formula to tell you how much of that money belongs to your spouse.
I'm sorry, but marriage in Louisiana would turn me into a bum.
Why?
I would lose all and any ambition.
Why?
Not that I have very much anyway.
Why? You're very ambitious. Stop.
Because
but why?
I refuse to even put myself in a position to where somebody who did not work they wasn't in the gym shooting with me, be able to take half of my NBA salary.
What the hell are you talking about? So wait. So
let's
so
just
no.
say,
Let's talk about.
I'm shooting
Let's
in
talk
the gym.
about what
Okay,
you're saying.
yeah,
So
I'm shooting in the gym. Right?
I am at home.
Look,
No.
hold on, Kobe. Whoop,
No, but
look at
I
that.
am at home taking care of the kids, taking care of other shit.
And
But that is not a job.
who paying you?
I didn't help.
Who paying you?
I did not help you because if I was not there, who would have been taking care of the kids?
Look at Kobe fade away
Once again
from
like
the
I said.
baseline.
So
Nah.
you don't consider.
I don't consider that half of my NBA salary.
Why?
No. If I make $80 million a year, right?
Okay, if we get married, when we get married,
I'm making
we get
$80
married,
million.
you are nobody. You just a man with a dream.
No, I'm in the gym shooting.
No,
I'm in the gym shooting.
You're a man with a dream.
And I'm in the gym shooting.
And I marry you, and more than likely, I'm supporting you.
Are you shooting with me?
I'm supporting you.
Are you shooting?
Because while you in the gym shooting, I got a job. I'm working as a secretary in somebody's law office. Or I'm working I'm busting my look.
Everybody
I got
knows.
3 jobs.
Everybody knows that secretaries have shitty jump shots.
Matter of fact, I got 3 jobs. I'm probably working at a waitress on a night shift.
Are you getting my rebounds though?
All I know is I'm supporting your ass while you having these hoop dreams.
Nah.
And then you make it. So
See,
I don't deserve half of that.
Fuck no.
Because in spite of the fact that I supported you when you ain't had shit.
So basically what you're telling me, and I want to make this perfectly clear, is you're only supporting me in exchange for
not supporting you in exchange for anything.
Yes.
I'm supporting you because I love you.
Nope.
I married you. I love you. I want to see your dream work. So
you can watch it work on TV, on TNT with Charles, Shaq, and Ernie in them.
I want to see your dream work. So I am supporting us.
Nah.
I am paying rent. I am buying food.
Good for you.
Look, clothing. I'm doing all this because I want us to succeed.
Good for you.
I want
However,
us to succeed.
Now let's say I'm a already established NBA player, right?
See, well, that's a difference now.
Wait. Let me finish the scenario. I'm already established. Just won 6th man of the year. I'm up for a contract renewal, right? We got married, old contract, and then boom, 2 years into our marriage, it's time for me to renew my contract. You don't get half of that shit. Even though I would sign a prenup, and you would sign a prenup and separate property agreement and any and everything else. Because, God's honest truth, what's the point of working hard for something when somebody who put in zero work to that, we're just talking about that one lane, can take half of it and they put in no work?
Okay, so once again, as I said, if you are away hooping it up and I'm at home taking care of the home fires, that's so basically what you're saying is you disregard these mothers and these wives out here who are at home dealing with the kids and dealing with everyday life while you are hooping it up. So you're disregarding what they do.
Not at all.
Yeah,
I never said anything about that.
That's what you just said.
Listen, my contract renewal's up. I signed my contract, right? $26 million a year, right? Okay. We have a bank account. You have access to my money in my bank account.
Okay, so that's your money.
Absolutely. You didn't. In the gym shooting?
Once again, there you go.
Were you in the gym shooting?
That is your money. It's only yours because everything that I'm contributing is irrelevant.
As Eddie Murphy said, Johnny worth $100 million. I got a job and I made $300 a week. So now, Johnny, you worth $100 million and $3.75. Nah, you ain't contribute to that shit. But the thing is, I am more than happy to support my household while I'm on the road, hooping it up and hanging out with the groupies and sluts. But you have access to this money. Fine. Did you earn this money?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Well, then why you ain't on the court in New Jersey?
Yes.
Why you ain't on the court in New Jersey?
Because I'm at home taking care of the kids.
So you ain't earned this money.
I did.
You didn't earn 26.
I did. Yes, I did.
You don't go to trying to think of current NBA, Steph Curry's house. That's the first one that came to my mind. You don't go to a Steph Curry's house, right? Already a multimillionaire, and say, I'm gonna wipe your counters down. Oh yeah, I'm worth $40 million now. Fuck no.
Once again, and Steph Curry,
not in a million years.
No. Now, see,
I'm going to vacuum your floor. That's $20 million.
What your scenario initially your scenario was you were worth nothing.
My scenario was never that. Yeah, I said I would lose ambition.
You said that when we were talking, I said I was supporting us.
That was your scenario.
I was working. You were in the gym hooping, but you would lose all ambition. You would stop working.
No, I would actually get a prenup, and I would try my best to protect all of my assets. But then you got things like Dr. Dre's divorce. Have you been keeping up with that? Dr. Dre,
initially,
first billionaire in hip hop. This bitch asking for $1.5 million a month.
And she's trying to get the prenup thrown out. Because you know that
I was under duress.
That shit can happen.
Yeah, because I was under duress when I seen how much money he had. I was like, whoa, I'm beside myself. I'm just crazy right now. I don't know what I'm signing.
All I know is,
get the fuck out of here.
Here's the thing.
Don't get married in a community property state.
If we are in this together. Well, see, the thing is, don't get married in any state. Don't get married in any state. I mean, if you're talking about don't get married in a community property state, don't get married in any state, because even though
I can agree with that.
Even though there are 38 states, because we have I think 6 or 7 community property. So 42 states that are not community property states. Tenants in common. I mean, you buy something together, half of it is still mine.
We ain't buying shit together.
We buying stuff together. So see, the thing is, the dynamic is practically the same thing. If we are in a marriage, and we are supporting each other,
we're not doing that.
We are both making.
I am an NBA player. What is you supporting? I'm an NBA player.
I am supporting you. You married me. You married me. Probably, what did you marry me for?
Probably because
of the what? Because of the wet ass pussy? Is that why you married? What did you marry?
I am an NBA player. I don't marry for WAP.
What are you getting married for?
I get that on the road.
But what are you getting married for then?
Probably because I felt sorry for you at some point, and I was like, look at this pitiful motherfucker. Let me make her somebody.
Really?
Let me make her somebody.
Is that why? Is that why?
That's probably why. That's something like that. Because I'd be on the road. Pro se, ladies and gentlemen.
Anyway.
Pro se. Don't get married pro se.
Listen to that. Divorce, you can't get married pro se. But, so divorce, as we were saying before we fell down this rabbit hole, because somebody is an asshole. I'm
going to be a rich asshole.
And so will she. Anyway. Divorce is one of the many most popular, I would say, pro se petitions to file. But it can get complicated, as we just established. It can get very complicated if you are a couple with means. If you have community property, or if you're not in a community property state, you have property that you have purchased when you were together. So unless, as Dan said, you have a pre or anti-nuptial agreement.
What's it called? The one where you not modify it, but basically, for lack of a better word, you're modifying your prenup later.
It's an anti-nuptial.
Okay, So what does that do? Explain that.
So basically, before the marriage, if you want to contract something, you can write.
Not gonorrhea. Do not contract gonorrhea.
You can write everything down. You can say, what's mine is mine. What yours is yours. What you take out of the marriage when and if we get a divorce is what you brought in. Everything that is mine is going to remain mine. Courts, they don't really have to get involved in that. at least in the state of Louisiana. They don't have to get in. They don't have to bless it as long as the adults consent and they sign. They do not do anything under duress. Basically, what that means, their consent is not vitiated. Then this means that this is a solid agreement. Y'all go into the marriage. So then you get married.
And then that's when shit goes downhill.
Now, then you get married, and then you decide that you want to modify this prenuptial agreement. Well, now you're married, and depending on what you're trying to modify in this prenuptial agreement, the court might have to bless that. Let me repeat something that I've said in a prior show. If you get married in another state and then you move to the state of Louisiana, you have a certain period of time in which
1 year
you can declare that you do not want to be subject to community property. If you don't see, most people don't realize that. If you do not make that declaration denouncing the community property, your assets fall under that law. So your community of assets and gains is what it's called. It will start, right? Keep that in mind, people. You know, that's just a little quirk of the state of Louisiana. Gotta love
What
them.
about the other community property states? Probably the same.
I don't know because even within community property states, the law is kind of different.
Man, that
Texas is a community.
janky.
Texas is a community property state, and their community property law is almost the same as ours, but they have some little weird quirks.
Yeah, like in Texas, the man keeps the guns, the women
here you
keep the
go.
kids. All right, so let's sum it up with this, because, of course, I could keep throwing things out here, pro se this, pro se that. If you could name 3 things that are pro sayable that you would highly recommend against at all costs, what would they be?
Personal injury is one. Definitely don't do it. Employment law, anything that has to do with like workers' comp, wage and hour, anything like that, don't do it. Social Security, anything surrounding the federal government and you trying to fight them, don't do it.
Man, our constitutional attorney on the ground, P from Charlotte, did it in one.
You trying to do it. Don't. I would never fight the federal government or the state government without an attorney. Like I said, workers' comp, anything that it involves employment law, those things, the wage and hours, those things get kind of jinky. And what was the other one? Oh, personal injury. I would not do that without a lawyer, because there are some things that lawyers can do that the average Joe cannot when it comes to personal injury.
Now, here's the question that I'm sure a lot of people would like to know. Okay, even though you're not a trial lawyer, right?
I'm not.
Have you ever tried a case, though?
I have.
Oh, well, then that makes you a trial lawyer, so that's good enough right now. 2 attorneys that know each other, that one is working for the defendant, one is working for the plaintiff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Behind closed doors,
they start talking.
We know it's happened, but how common is it for them to be like, yo, my people, they, this, and then my people that, and they're discussing their clients' privileged information with each other?
Okay, so what I am required to say is that
Never
that shit
happens.
never happens.
Mm-hmm.
That shit never happens.
Let's create a new country, right, that has similar laws to the U.S., where this kind of thing may or may not happen.
Probably, if I had to hazard a guess, probably about 70-ish% of the time.
Should that scare people?
Well, if it winds up working in your favor, it should. Now, honestly, let me tell you, lawyers are not supposed to talk about their clients with anybody. really, because information that your client gives you, that's privileged for the most part. Things associated with your case, you're not really supposed to talk about. But I mean, it happens, and it happens a lot. And as long as it's not detrimental to you, I wouldn't really be afraid of it. What I would be afraid of is, so the legal community for the most part is a very tight knit community. Everybody knows everybody. Judges, they know judges, and lawyers know judges, and this and that. So when attorneys and judges are chummy, that's when shit should worry you, because they're all people, so they're influenced by relationships, and even though they're supposed to be unbiased, that's where recusals come in at. When a lawyer or a judge feel like they cannot be objective. But it's hard. You're supposed to be able to notice that within yourself, but it's kind of sort of like the honor system. You have to say, no, I couldn't be objection. I couldn't be objective and
So
fair.
Jeff Sessions, one of, I think he was in season 2 of Trump's America. He did recuse himself, right?
He did.
And on what grounds?
He recused himself because he was basically, he said that he couldn't be objective, is what he said. And it's because, if you think about it, he was a Trump appointee. What it was involved hit Trump's campaign. He was a part of Trump's campaign. So it's like he couldn't be objective because he was one of the players in the whole situation. So yeah.
Well,
The law is a tricky thing, and for the most part, it is getting better. The veil is being pulled back. People are able to go out and do things DIY, but there are some things that you don't want to DIY, and there are some things that are very conducive to DIY, like divorce. And let me add a caveat. When I say you can do the initial divorce petition, you can actually go well through the whole divorce process and get a judgment of divorce. Ancillary to divorce, like child custody, support for yourself and your children, separation of properties, all these ancillary things, you can actually do them separate from the actual divorce. You can do them within the whole divorce proceeding, but you can be divorced and then decide all this other stuff. So you can do the divorce yourself and then realize, all right, now I need backup for this, and this. Let me find somebody to help me specifically for this. I've done that. Like, people have done their own divorces and then have come to me and say, I need your help with child support, or I need your help with spouse support, or I need your help with partitioning. And I will say, okay. And then I will file something with the court, telling the court, I am here specifically for, I'm making an appearance in this proceeding specifically for this thing. It doesn't happen a whole lot of the time, but it is available. It's there.
So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it is always in your best interest to, if you're able to, get an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed. No, there are programs out here. There's legal aid.
Mm-hmm.
There's
low fee law clinics. There's pro bono. In every state There are law clinics. Law schools love helping people because it
Experience.
gives their students experience. So most law schools have, not most, all practically have law clinics associated with them. So you have law clinics at law school, no cost. You have clinics that are no cost to low cost. There are clinics, sliding scale, all depends on, your income. They have, as Dan was saying, legal aid. So there are any of a number of ways to get the help you need.
And if you have a high profile case, Ben Crump,
Mars Bart.
man. So
Man, Crump everywhere.
he is, and he is stretching himself thin.
Everywhere.
But I'm gonna tell you the brilliance and the not so brilliance behind Ben Crump, and that's the last thing I'll add to this show. Other than if the bitch ain't in the gym with you shooting,
Nah. If I'm keeping the home fires burning. I deserve something too.
not half.
Yeah.
Ben Crump here. I struggle with this, right? Because I'm not gonna say I'm the best orator there is. I'm far from it. But damn, Ben. Damn. Like Ben be saying some shit. And I'm listening to him like, did he just say that? Did he? But
Ben Crump reminds me of Sean Ferguson.
Chief
of Police.
Oh Lord.
New Orleans.
That dude.
Like every time
we had subjected the subject to a legal search of seizures, and man, y'all know how it be. Be like, what? Nah, but the brilliance behind Ben Crump, in all honesty, is networking. And let's be honest, life in general, depending on what star you want to shoot for, is all about networking.
Well,
and the networking Ben Crump has, we're talking about local ACLUs, we're talking about local media, we're talking about national media, Breakfast Club, like all that right there.
He is everywhere.
Yeah. And that is, so, I have a hard time listening to him, but with his network, he can get eyes. Just like if it wasn't for him, I highly doubt in the one juror that they would have released the transcripts from the Breonna Taylor case.
Have you read them?
I stayed away from them because I'm not ready to read them yet.
I have not, but because I've not had the time to do so. But I am itching to look at it. I read the motion that the grand juror actually submitted, or was poised to submit to the judge, and I was like, I laughed at that like Daniel Cameron. Speaking of
Uncle Tom,
did you see Megan Thee Stallion's performance
on SNL? You know what? I'm gonna keep my mouth closed on that one.
For what? It was brilliant.
Okay. We'll go with that.
It was, if you haven't seen it, find it, look at it. It was brilliant. I loved it.
We'll go with that.
Nah, you stupid. Just because she said protect black women?
Nope.
What? Wait, what? You have to tell me what problem you had with that.
I have no problem, ladies. Ladies, no. I love Megan and I love some WAP too. I love all that.
You have a problem with her performance. What was it?
I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
I don't have. See, sometimes it is not in a man's best interest to voice his opinion on women's issues. However,
that is not a woman's issue.
Man, wet ass pussy is a woman's issue.
That's not a woman's issue.
I agree with the message. My problem was in the presentation.
Wait, really? The girl was doing her thing in the way that she does it. She was expressing herself as only she can express herself. Leave her alone. I mean,
I'm not messing with her.
All I'm saying is You get the message. Get people where you find them. So for all the WAP fans out there, and every dude out there who wants to watch Megan shake her ass, she got the message.
Protect black women.
They got the message. But in saying that, Ben Crump reminds me of Johnny Cochran. You know, you mentioned his
He's like a low budget Johnny Cochran.
Listen, you mentioned his network, and you mentioned how when he shows up, the media shows up with him, and everything that's behind him. That was Johnny Cochran. Basically, you know, when Johnny walked and started talking to this bank of reporters' microphones, he was like E.F. Hutton. Everybody.
Johnny was a smooth operator, though. He was a smooth operator. Ben Crump is more of a.
But I think
brash.
That's his aesthetic. I think that too is a part of his ploy. Like the very first time I ever saw Ben Crump in the Trayvon Martin case, I looked at Ben Crump and I listened to him and I was like, who is this low rent, low budget
Don King?
Like, what is you doing? And then I started seeing him pop up everywhere. And then it was like, hold up, let me study this a little bit. And then I started thinking back and looking back and really analyzing his whole rise. And it's like, like I said, he wants people to underestimate him. That is like his ploy.
He's done a lot. I actually looked at some of the things he's done. He's done a lot even prior to the Trayvon Martin. He just didn't have national notoriety.
He didn't have that notoriety, right.
So,
correct.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of Black Law and Legal Lies, where we specialize if she ain't in the gym shooting with you.
Once again, half, Eddie. Half.
Eddie, what have you done for me lately? My name is Dan. Keep up with me on Twitter and on IG at I am Dan on Drugs. Keep up with the show, all platforms at Black Law Podcast. Check out our YouTube page, Black Law Podcast.
Oh, yeah. And I'm just Dan, and you can follow me on Twitter at I Tell Legal Lies. Thanks, guys.